Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Bob and 2B podcast, the podcast that's all about people's passions in life. Hopefully you enjoyed the first episode with Jackie Redpath there, talking about his experience in community development. And today I am joined by a young person, Becky Taggart, who I came across in terms of connecting with the Solace Highland dancers. And she's going to talk about her obsessions in life as well. So absolutely delighted to have Becky on the podcast today. Becky, how you doing?
Oh, good today, Glenn.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good today, ready to rock.
Oh, yeah, brilliant. That's good. So, Becky, tell us a wee bit about yourself in terms of who you are, what are you doing in terms of life right now, and then we'll get into some of this stuff as we go along. How's that sound? All right?
That sounds good.
Good
Well,
stuff.
I am Becky, as you said already, and I am 20 years old. I currently am working in Edmonton Primary School as a classroom assistant. And I also work as a teacher for the Solace Highland dancers. So I would be in a lot of different community centres and stuff. And then I did teach in primary schools for a while as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have currently and hopefully have got in, hopefully. But I have also applied for occupational therapy in Ulster University too.
Well, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So, we're going to be studying Belfast or up in the Coleraine?
Hopefully, McGee.
Okay.
Hopefully, McGee.
Okay.
Because I still want to dance and everything, and
Right.
I'm a wee home bird.
Right.
I don't really like going away. I love going away and dancing trips and stuff with all my family, but no, I'm a wee home bird.
Okay, great.
Staying here.
Brilliant. Well, that's good. Well, listen, let's get into the idea of what this podcast is about. It's about the things that we fill our lives with. What were some of the early things that you filled your life with in terms of, now, not that you're old.
Not
you're
that I'm
20,
old, but I've
you're
done
making-
a lot of stuff.
You're making me feel like a wee bit on the old side here. And but what were some of the things that you kind of were obsessed about whenever you were younger than you are now?
Younger than I was now. Well, I did a lot of stuff. Me and my sister both did a lot of stuff. My mum was up constantly on the road
Right.
running with us.
Right, okay.
So now we're driving, so it's all grand
Yeah,
now.
okay.
But we say, so when I was younger, I'll tell you my whole schedule. See
Okay.
if I remember it. So I remember the Friday and Saturdays was you had dance classes. I had swimming, girls' brigade.
Right.
I did rainbows for a while, piano, violin, and I did the chanter as well for a while.
Right, okay. So that's quite a schedule, isn't it? Yeah.
We had a lot of stuff on, and then I had my younger brother too, so he was running like football and stuff like that there. So mum was always on the road with us.
Okay. And was there anything in that kind of thing that was really your kind of thing? The one thing that maybe stood out for you in that whole?
Oh, it was always my dancing.
It was always the dancing.
It was always the dancing because you always had the shows and stuff, and we were very into our dancing. Like,
Okay, brilliant.
really enjoyed it.
And what type of dance were you doing at that stage?
Oh, I did hip hop for a while as well.
Did you
I
not?
did do hip hop. I remember that. Me and my sister went. We always did stuff together. I always went with my sister because I was a very shy child.
Right.
So I always had to go with my sister. My sister would chat to anybody, and she's very outgoing, right? So I always had to go with her.
Right.
Like if I wanted to do something. So I did do hip hop for a while, but it was always the Highland dancing that we did.
Right,
And then
okay.
over lockdown, I also did a bit of ballet. I learned a bit of ballet.
Interesting. So, talk to me about the hip hop stuff. All right. So for me,
No, I was very young, so
no,
I remember that.
listen. Look, I have not that I have a major thing, but whenever I was young, and
Yes.
it's interesting. One of my next guests on this is a breakdancer. One of the next is going to be from Fifth Element breakdancers are going to be on the podcast. And one of the reasons why I wanted to bring them on was because back in the early 80s, right, and way before you were even a thought in anybody's mind, Becky, I was a breakdancer. All right.
I need to see videos of these.
No,
I don't know if I believe you or not right now.
No, listen, that's back in the day, like when there was none of this video stuff knocking about or whatever. If there was, it was like real camcorders with proper like big VHS tapes and all, and it just wasn't a done thing. But for me, it was one of those things that was a real, let me say, community builder, because it was one of the, growing up on an interface, it was one of the few times that we were involved in something that whenever we connected with another community, that there was no real tension involved with it, because dance just seemed to break down a lot of barriers and stuff like
Weird
that,
that
which
that
is really
happens, isn't it?
strange, isn't it? You know, so, yeah, so talk to me a bit about your hip-hop experience.
I don't remember a lot about it. I remember standing in a class with my sister and doing some of the moves But then I remembered going straight to dance classes and Highland dance class afterwards. We did that for, what did we say? It was in Strabane somewhere that we did it. I think we did it only a couple of months. No, it was a summer scheme thing.
Right, okay.
We only did it for a wee summer scheme sort of thing. That was the end of my hip hop career after that.
Okay, so
haven't looked at it since. Other than a wee bit of contemporary stuff that we do during shows and dancing, but that's about
it,
the
really?
head of
Okay.
Or dancing in my house to the TV. About that.
Well, you're big into that, yeah.
That's just outbreaks.
Outbreaks.
Depends what we're watching on the TV.
So the other question I would have about that is obviously where are some of those obsessions in your life now? So it's obvious that the dance is still the major kind of love of your life, and that's obviously, as you've already intimated, it's Highland dance. So talk to me a bit about why Highland dance is kind of your obsession.
Why it is my obsession? Well, we always went there. It was part of our routine to start off with. And then it was kind of a family thing too that we went in and did. And I don't even know why. I just really connected with it. I think it was more than anything. I really connected with it. And I was I'm going to sound cocky now, but I was quite good at it sort of a thing to start off with. And then keep going. And I just liked how you just built it up. And it was the actual form of dancing and stuff. The strength that we have now in dancing, and it's helped me a lot through everything I've done.
Yeah.
And it took you on the different pathways and stuff. Like November, we were in London, and we went to, well, my sister still danced. I think the last trip that she did too, it was New York.
Right.
We were away in all these different trips and stuff like that there, and Mum used to do hairs and everything for them to start off with. So that's just how it kind of started. It was just.
It's just one of them things.
It's just one of the things that I really connected with. And it really brought me out of my shell more than anything. As I said, I was a really shy child.
All right, so without wanting to analyse that in any shape or form.
That's okay.
No, but I think it's interesting that you're talking about something like performance.
Yeah.
Bringing you out of your shell, so can you attribute that to anything? When you look back now and kind of think about, here's you walking into this room to learn how to do Highland dance, a wee shy child potentially, and then over a period of time starting to gain some level of confidence and stuff. Can you process that even now, what that was like, or what it was about how you were being taught that maybe helped you connect with it? I
really don't know, to be honest with you. I think it was just building up that confidence. In fact, I went home and actually practiced it sort of thing. So anything else that we did, like Girls Brigade, I used to hate going to Girls Brigade when I was younger because I was like, I don't know any of these people here. Please don't make me go. Whereas I was I knew people at dancing sort of a thing, and I knew it was just kind of me dancing in my own space.
Yeah.
I had my own space, my own sort of thing.
Cause it's quite regimented, isn't it? It's quite because obviously having spoken to Georgina before, she talks a lot about, that there's very, it's very precise. There's a precise way of learning.
I think that's what I like about it.
And it's not really it is a team event, but essentially, really, you're performing these moves yourself. It's very individualistic in terms of that, and you have to spend a lot of time perfecting the moves, don't you?
Perfecting and actually being able to do it and stuff.
Yeah.
And everything like that.
So, talk to us a wee bit about those early days then, in terms of going down. Is that the one thing that you look forward to every week? Was let's get to the Highland dance class?
It probably was, yeah.
Yeah.
Because school, you went into school, you seen your friends sort of thing. You did your work, and then you came out, and I would have probably practiced a bit at the house if I had time, or just dancing about the kitchen, sort of thing like that there. It would have been the thing that I liked the most, because it also was at the end of the week. So you had done all that week of school, and then you had your dance class, and it was just great.
Okay, so it was the one thing you're looking forward to is when I get through the rest of this, I get to do this.
I get to do the dance class sort of thing, yeah. Okay.
And so when did you start to realise that, because you've already mentioned you were good, I don't think that's boasting or anything at all. If you're good at something, then I think it's perfectly fine to say you're good at something. When did you start to realise that, hey, I'm actually all right at this?
Probably, what did we say? probably the later years in like primary school sort of thing.
Okay.
You know, we have to do your identity sort of thing. We used to do, I remember, we used to have a wee crest sort of thing they had to design.
Right.
So mine was all Highland dancing is what I figured out. And then I was like, I really just love this, don't I? It really is me. Suits me.
And a high element of it, there's also a competitive element in terms of the Highland dance thing. So
Yes.
when did you start getting involved in the competitive stuff? Yeah.
So there's a thing in Highland dances. So you have to know a certain amount of dances to compete in beginners. There is one below that.
Right.
But I started at the same time as my sister started, and we just went up and we did. So when I was 7 years old, you have to be 7 to be in beginners.
Okay.
So under 7s is in primary. So I had to know all my dances before I was allowed to compete. So that is your fling, sword, chanteuse, reel, flora and lilt. And I learnt them just when I was 7.
Okay.
And then started competing from then and still am competing at the moment.
Right. Can you remember your first competition?
Can I remember my first competition? Good question. I don't know if it was my first, but it was definitely one of my first. And I think it was down in Donegal.
Right.
And a big stage and stuff. Now, I still do this to this day, is competitions do freak me out sometimes.
Okay.
I am getting a lot better at it, though. I have got a lot better, where I can calm my nerves. But it was the fact that I knew I could do something and I just wanted to show it off. But then I freaked out sometimes when I was on stage, and that is what I did that day. So it is trying to control the nerves as well as being up there.
Okay.
Which is strange because I can go out and stand on stage and do a dance absolutely no bother, no mistakes, nothing. But it just comes to a competition where I know where I want to do it. It's a real psychological thing.
But there's also an element whenever you're in a competitive thing, if you don't have nerves, that there's something wrong. You know, I mean,
Exactly.
I think if you go in like super, super confident, nothing wrong with confidence, but if you're not like, kind of going, gee, I don't know, I need to, a wee bit of nerves is good though,
It's
isn't
good.
it? Yeah.
It is good.
Yeah.
It is good. But to an extent. We'll just go to an extent.
To an extent. None of it's taken over. You're
I know.
kind of getting an anxiety kind of thing around. That's where it comes a wee bit different.
That's where it comes a wee bit different, and that's where I would be sometimes in my competitions.
Okay.
As I said, I'm getting better at it now because
Yeah.
I can control it a lot better now. But see, when I was younger, I was awful.
That's really difficult for me to kind of think about it and
think
see.
about
But no, because obviously my experience of you, I only seen you once, I think, in competitive, I think in the MEM.
I think, yes, we did. Yes, that was one of my better forms.
But any other time that I've seen you in performing, I mean, in terms of, obviously you were on Late Night with me at the Parade, you did that. And then obviously in terms of the Shutting the Gates performances that you've done, I've seen that twice. That was one in the MEM Hall and then one in the
Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah, so seeing that first performance of it, you don't come across as a kind of person who has any kind of difficulty in that area. I have to say, like, I've always been extremely impressed with not that I know much about Highland dance, but I mean for me, I'm thinking of, hey, this person knows what
I
they're
look
at.
very confident now. I've been really, really working on it over the years. I have been working more on it. Now, see, if you ask anybody like Georgina, will tell you, I used to just have no expression on my face when I was dancing when I was younger.
Right.
And her words were, "You look like you were going to kill the judge." Whereas now people actually come over to me and they're like, "How do you smile the whole way through your dance?" Because I have been working on it. I've been working on the performance skills.
Okay.
So I could perform no bother, but there is still that slight bit of anxiety.
Right. Talk us through that. How have you been doing that then? What are the kind of things that you've been putting in place to kind of do that? Because it's obviously, you're saying about it, this is your obsession. Your obsession in life is Highland dance. And you're trying to do things to increase the confidence, change your performance. So what have you done that has contributed to that?
Okay. What have I done? Now, I've tried a lot of different things. So I have been hypnotized before, but then we went to lockdown. I have been hypnotized. That sounds really scary, but no, I have been hypnotized before, but we went into lockdown, so I didn't have any chance to kind of work it out and stuff. And what they give is these affirmations, so they give you 10 words and you have to say it to yourself, sort of thing. So I don't know if that totally has worked, but I have done that before. I've tried meditation, awful at it.
Right, okay.
Really bad at meditation.
Right, okay.
I can't sit still.
You can't sit still.
I'm really bad that I can't sit still. I am really bad that I can't sit still. I'm just going to be completely honest. I am bad at it.
I don't think there's
But
anything wrong with that.
you know what's really helped me is I love the arts and stuff.
Right.
So I will sit and watch a movie or just calm myself to music. And like at competition days, I'll put my headphones on and I will stand away in a corner and I probably would just bounce about and stuff. And then I would go and chat to someone who looks the calmest person in the room, which is usually Stuart. So I usually go over there and then we kind of calm the nerves sort of thing. And if anybody is getting really nervous and stuff, I will walk away. Because I don't want the nerves. Don't want to catch the nerves. But usually the night beforehand and stuff, like I would watch quite a motivational movie and stuff.
Right.
So what movies do I like?
That's it. Give us an insight into what helps you.
I knew that was going to be your next question. What helps me? So quite motivational movies or anything. So I have watched, this is going to sound, I don't know, I've watched The Last Dance, which is the Michael Jordan documentary. So quite people in like athletes sort of things and stuff like that there. Yeah. Well, I quite like The Hustle at the moment. Right. Which is Adam Sandler movie. So it's just someone that is working to a goal sort of
achieve something, right? Yeah. So none of the dance films.
None of that. Oh no, I do watch them too. Actually, to be fair, something that calms me. The night beforehand, you usually get like a Mamma Mia musical sort of thing, so you kind of just release after all that.
No, I was kind of thinking like, you know, something like, you know, Save the Last Dance kind of thing.
Save the Last Dance. No, I find that if it's the night before, there's I either watch just something that really motivates you to go and do something. Yeah. I'll either watch that or something that calms me or just kind of need to jump about and move, which is musicals.
Okay. Musicals?
Musicals? You ask me what musicals now because I can name a loads.
I'll go ahead. Give us an insight because for me, I can't think anything worse.
You know, like musicals. That's like my older brother. He hates musicals.
Do you know what?
And I sing them all the time to him. He's just like, no.
The only musical that I really got into, or in any shape or form, was because I have an obsession with Back to the Future. And I went to see Back to the Future, the musical, when I was in London last year. It was unbelievable. The production on that was just unbelievable. And it's one of the few musicals that I could say that, hey, I would go and pay money to watch that again and all. But so what is it about the musical then? Because musicals are a very specific genre that people kind of, you're not a High School Musical person and all that there. Were you? Oh my God.
Of course. Of course I am, Glenn. Of course.
That's just because Zac Efron's in there, isn't it, really?
Oh, I just love the songs and everything.
Really?
I just think they're class. I think they're class. And we grew up with it and everything. So there used to be these here signs outside our bedroom doors. So my sister's was a High School Musical one that would say like Jessica, but mine was Hannah Montana.
Really?
So I used to be obsessed with Hannah Montana when I was younger. But I think that was that identity thing. So she had a normal life and she put on the wig and she was like, away you go.
Oh, right, okay. So
I just loved that. I was like, I could so do that. I could put on a wig and away I went.
So Highland dance is really your superpower?
Yeah. It is. I love superpowers too. I really love movies. I love all the Marvels and everything. See anything like that. I do love all that there stuff, which I count as a motivational movie.
Get in there. Brilliant.
I do. But my musicals would be I watch these all with my mum and stuff. Right. So I quite like the old ones as well. So the normal ones would be kind of more the genre. Mamma Mia. Right. I love Mamma Mia. I love Grease. Okay. The High School Musicals, as you said, Glenn, as you reminded me. I do quite like old ones too. So I like Calamity Jane.
Right, okay.
They're really old. I know. Calamity Jane and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Interesting. And are these kind of things that you watch at a particular time, or like have you got like
just
for me
on TV? Them last ones, it would be like I would watch them with my mum a lot. Right. I would watch him with my mum a lot because a reminder of her dad. Family Jane. Okay. Because he watched all them stuff. I'm very into old TV programs too. No, like the two Ronnies and stuff, and still open all hours.
Brilliant, because the Two Forks sketch. I mean, it's just classic, isn't it?
Oh, of course. I used to love that there. And but my mum, I didn't actually know. So my granddad died, must have died about 10 years ago now, I think. But it was quite a few years back. It was just after he had died, I started watching all this stuff. My mum used to come in and go, you're wild like your granddad. How do you know granddad? Granddad used to love this here. I was like, yeah, I didn't know that, Mum.
Yeah.
I just really love this.
It's crazy how that happens, isn't it? Really
It
strange.
was really strange when she came in and said that to me, and I thought,
Uh-huh.
yeah, no, that's true. I love it.
Brilliant. So, talk to us. You mentioned a wee bit earlier on there about how Highland dance is taking you to the
Loads of
different places. Now, obviously, not just different locations,
Mhm.
but it's taking you to different levels of confidence, different levels of your own sort of self belief and stuff. Talk to us a wee bit about some of the work, what that's done for. What has Highland dance actually done for you?
Has it actually done for me? So I've got a lot of qualifications through dancing and stuff, but it's another thing that I'm quite passionate about. Is what I think is actually helping people achieve their goals.
Okay.
Which is why I've applied for occupational therapy, because
Right.
that is what they do, is they help
Uh-huh.
people achieve their goals and get to a certain point. So I think that is through my teaching that I've kind of stumbled upon that there. But like, I just love being the person to help. I love helping out. I
Uh-huh.
do love helping out.
Okay.
It has brought me a lot of confidence, as you said. Really brought me out of my shell, because I never would have sat here and done this here. I would have been
Right.
like, no, I'm not speaking to you again. I'm definitely not speaking to you again. Would have said that there. I felt, no, I'll send my sister. It's okay. She can do it. It's okay.
Brilliant.
But no,
No,
a lot of stuff.
And in terms of then for that competitive element, you've mentioned about where you were in London recently, but you were a wee bit further afield.
We were
Not
in
that
South
long ago as
Africa.
well. You were in South Africa. Talk to us a wee bit of the South Africa trip. What was that like?
Oh, unreal. Unreal. Now, I'm not a very good traveller,
Uh-huh.
but it was just me and my mum that went.
Right.
And you had 3-hour bus trip down to Dublin. Then we flew from Dublin to Abu Dhabi, which was 6 hours. Then we had, or no, was it 8 hours? Could have been 8 hours. I think it's 8 hours. Then we had 6 hours wait. And then we had another 8-hour flight to get to Johannesburg. And then
Right.
we had an hour to drive to the complex.
That's quite a different kind of, because Abu Dhabi's way over. They fly all the way back down. It's a cheaper way.
It was
Okay,
a
yeah.
cheaper way of doing
Yeah.
it. And there was a lot of us and everything.
Yeah.
So the actual trip itself, it was great that there was a lot of us, because you were able to go and actually chat to people and just
Yeah.
get
So
on
how many people were
with it.
talking? How many of you went?
Good question. I think there were 70.
70. Oh,
Something
wow.
like that. Something tells me
Crazy.
yeah, definitely around that number anyway. But oh, it was amazing. And you went over and the sun was just shining and it was gorgeous. Now it was cold at night time,
Mm-hmm.
but the whole trip, see, if we go on trips, we tend to make the most of it.
Right.
So we did safari. There was a casino and there was a zoo in the first hotel.
Uh-huh.
Gorgeous big hotel. And then you had the bus ride out to the competition. The competition was really lovely.
Yeah.
It was at a secondary school.
Right. Okay.
Gorgeous big building. But and everything, everywhere we went was very safe. Now we were told that just to be careful with everything, because it can be quite a dangerous country going into it. But we had no issues at all. We had a really, really good time. We
Yeah.
loved it.
And what about talking age ranges? Are we talking the full age range of Solace all the way from the
Yeah.
kiddies right up to the adults?
The
Yeah.
older ones, yeah,
Yeah.
it is the younger ones. I think there was a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old that were competing.
Uh-huh.
So that was
Wow.
the youngest dancers
Right.
of us. And then
And that was in the beginners section.
that was the primary
the
section.
primary
because
section,
you have
yeah.
to be 7
That's
to be
right.
in
So
the
there you go. I
beginners,
should have
I
been listening to that.
Come on, Glenn, you should
I
know at this point.
Exactly,
You've worked
that's
this
it.
as well.
Exactly. But around you guys that long, I should really know this. I should have my steps down as well. So talk to us about the actual competition, because that's obviously the reason why you
That's
were
why
there
we were
was
there.
the competition. And that's because some people won't associate South Africa and Highland dance.
Exactly.
So talk to us a bit about that. Talk to us, how come that's the crack over there? And talk to us a bit about the competition and how did you do?
How did we do? Well, I came 3rd overall in the adult section.
Right?
And then there was a special dance section. So we all had to learn this dance called the broadswords. And it was their version of the broadswords. So they had their own choreography
Right.
for it. We basically learned it in about 2 days.
Right, okay, wow. So
And practiced it.
Uh-huh.
And I won that there one. So I
Right.
won the adult section of the broadswords.
Okay, wow.
Of the
So a
broadswords.
3rd overall, and then you won the broadsword.
Yes,
which you
and I won
learned
my
in next to no
broadswords.
time.
Yeah, which could have been a psychological thing again, because it was the competition, all the championships were all done And then it was just a broadsword, so I had nothing to think about, and I was
Right.
able to sort of win that there one. It's another psychological thing. It's just in my head, Glenn.
Well, talk to us a bit about this idea of going to South Africa for Highland dance. As I say, people wouldn't necessarily associate Highland dance with South Africa.
I know.
You know,
They
so
don't.
what?
How did we get connected? Is
How
that
did
what
you?
you're thinking?
Yeah, pretty much.
How did we get connected? So, we would be friendly with Gillian and Kaylee, the O'Learys. So the O'Learys, Gillian was a 2-time world champion, and we got in contact with her. So I actually do classes with Gillian as well.
Uh-huh.
And they said that they had their own competition over there. So we had this idea that we did want to go over there eventually, but we've become really, really close with them, and they are part of Solace now, sort of thing.
So
That's how we
there's a
actually got
family
connected.
out there that's connected to
Yes, to
Highland
Solace.
dance and stuff, and then they have
Yes.
started up their own school and stuff out
They
there. Is
do
that
Highland and Irish.
okay?
So there's
Right.
a lot of people that does that as well.
Uh-huh.
And there was actually quite a few people over there that
Right.
does Highland dancing.
Uh-huh.
It was mad, and they would fly over to Scotland and compete and everything too, and like in the worlds and
Yeah.
stuff. There was ones that we were competing against that was over in Scotland beforehand, is already competing in the world, so
Worlds,
was
right,
doing
wow.
that as well.
Okay. So in terms of that as a that you say there's quite a lot of people. Are we talking what, hundreds, more than
I would
hundreds?
say hundreds or so.
Yeah?
Yeah. And
Wow.
then this was some 50th anniversary.
Right.
So what we had to do to start off with was we all lined up, all in our kilts, ready to go. And you had to parade in through and then up onto the stage. So all the dancers were standing on the stage.
Yeah.
We got a special 50th anniversary water bottle, a t-shirt as well that we
Okay.
got. And it was it was a nice competition. Some competitions you go to and you're like, don't know how I'm feeling about this.
Yeah.
Don't like the atmosphere in the room. The atmosphere in that room was just nice.
Right. Okay.
It was just a nice atmosphere, and the sun was shining outside. So you did your dance, and you did your dance, and you came out, and you're like, "Oh, that's warm, that's warm," sort of thing. But no, and we had trained a lot beforehand because there's different altitudes and stuff.
Yeah.
So when you went out there, you were less oxygen. So we had to train our bodies to adapt to that sort of
Okay.
way. So I felt good.
Uh-huh.
Actually, when I went out there, I felt better than what I thought I would. So I was quite happy.
That's even the whole idea, altitude training for Highland dance.
Altitude training for
Yeah.
Highland dance.
So did you just have to spend some time doing some stuff there to acclimatise first before you hit the actual competition?
So we went a couple of days beforehand so that we could get ourselves ready, sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
And then, as we said, the broadswords we only kind of learnt.
Right.
It was about the week beforehand we actually started to learn it. So we would have practiced just outside,
Sure.
just in our trainers and stuff, walking about
Uh-huh.
and stuff, and trying to adjust to the weather. Now, we had been warned several times, you had to drink a lot of water, a lot of water, because the sun shining down on you, and you
Yeah.
didn't want to get dehydrated before dance class. And we all had compression socks on.
Right. Okay.
In
So
the plane, we all had compression socks
self-care,
on.
self-care
Yes,
at
we
all
did.
level. Yeah, I think because that's one of the things that I've come to realize, even just from watching you a number of times, is that just the actual physical exertion that takes place when you're actually performing a piece. It's quite extensive, and I think I was whenever you did the late night with me at the parade thing, and we had got remember we had one performance down, whatever else, and I sort of went out, Junior, right, can we just do this again? And she's like, "Oh, you might not be able to," you know, and I was like, kind of going, and then I heard you go, "No, let's go again," and I'm like going, so, but it was, she said they'll be quite tired after
That
doing
was
it.
a long dance.
It was a long
yeah.
dance, a cracking dance though,
I
but
know. We love that dance. Now, we love that dance to an extent. Like, we love the way it looks, and it is an absolutely amazing dance, but it's really sore in the calves. That's
Yeah.
what we were all saying. Our legs are dead afterwards.
And that then became part of the shutting the gates performance as well, didn't it?
It did. When she told us that, we nearly dropped. We were going, no, really? Is it? You're going to make us dance after that? And
Yeah.
no, but we were grand. You just had to practice it.
Yeah.
It's one of them things you just have to train your body to do, and like actually be able to do it and then continue afterwards.
Yeah, because one of the things that I love about that is the fact that you do, it's like all of the stuff that's connected to you get Solace and all those kind of things is that you like stretching the boundaries a wee bit, you like
We love
pushing
it.
the boundaries, and with the contemporary music, with a traditional form of dance is really kind of in there, because there's an element of Highland dance where this is the way it's done,
Yep.
and you do not deviate from it.
Competitions.
Whereas, and that's maybe the competitive element is more
competitive
that.
element.
But you have really taken that to another level with
course.
the creative expression. How do you find that? Does that build your passion even more when you get the idea of being able to incorporate this more contemporary element into your dance as well?
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely 100%. Because you would feel quite bored doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like you like if you asked all our people too, not just our dance group, is a lot of the people do tattoos after they compete, or a lot of the top competitors would do tattoos to give them that sort of wee break. And
We
makes
break
it a wee break. Just a wee break with the tattoo. It's just great. But it just gives you like, you just feel more relaxed, and it's more performing. Not even more performing. You still have to perform when you're competing.
Yeah.
You have to pretend that you're not tired.
Yeah.
Is the main type of performance that you're doing there.
So do you have to, in terms of that, when you're heading towards competition, is there any other prep, apart from obviously having to practice the moves, is there any other type of prep that you need to do in terms of obviously your hydration, your food, your energy levels, all that kind of stuff? What's that look like for you?
Well, see, at the moment, I did a while ago, before Christmas, I had been going to the gym, and it was the weights that I was using, but that had affected my dancing quite a bit.
Right.
So I went back, took myself back, and I went, right, you need to focus on something different. So recently I have been doing a lot of stretching and yoga and stuff.
Right.
And Pilates is supposed to be very good for dancing. So there's one of our dancers that is doing their degree in sports rehab.
Right, okay.
And she was saying that Pilates is supposed to be really, really good for dancers and stuff. And also I have been doing some plyometrics.
Right.
Which is all about jumping and how high you can jump and how far you can jump and stuff, which is very important in dancing as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of that has helped me more, because I've definitely improved since that there. That's the whole gym was just really affecting it. So this here now is my routine sort of thing.
Yeah. And I get that, because it depends, like weights and stuff, obviously, the more muscle mass you build, then
Exactly.
the
And
more,
especially when it's just weights. That sort of way. So you're just, you don't know, your body's not training the right way to do a dance and stuff.
But I suppose if you were doing any sort of lighter weight, higher rep kind of thing, that would have been,
if I would have done it properly.
You're,
That sort of way. If you ever actually went and asked somebody sort of thing. You know when you just get an idea in your head, Glenn, it just happens.
well, yeah, sometimes. So,
It's just one of them things.
alrighty, folks, that's the end of part 1 of our conversation with Becky Taggart. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you join us next week for part 2. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you like this video, comment and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode from Bob and Timmy. Until the next one, look after yourselves and take it easy.